So, decided to make a YouTube channel. Very spontaneous, kind of. I've been wanting to do it for a while, but then I was like, you know what? Let me just buy a camera so that I'm forced to start. I've been really scared to just put myself out there and be on social media like that because I don't know. I feel like I thought I'd get a lot of judgment, but honestly, I don't care at this point. I have a lot I need to say, a lot that I can't get across on my Instagram from just reposting quotes and stuff. So I was like, let me just make a YouTube channel and talk about it since I like to talk. So, honestly, today I didn't know what my first video was going to be. I was going to do a vlog, then I was going to do a lot of other stuff. But then I decided that I can just make these videos related to whatever I'm dealing with in life. And so, today, what I'm dealing with a lot is healing and forgiveness. Beautiful. No, it's actually not as pretty as it sounds, honestly. I've been wanting to talk about this topic for a while because I've actually gotten a lot of people asking me about this topic on my Instagram. I post a lot of quotes about healing, and people are like, okay, yeah, you talk about healing, but how do you heal? And for the longest, I didn't really know how to heal until I actually went through it. So it's kind of hard to explain, but I'm going to try my best. But yeah, I just have been inspired to talk about this because this is just something that I am going through and have been going through. But this is just my personal experience with it. So there are a lot of other ways to heal from whatever you've been through. And there are a lot of ways to forgive, but this is just my personal opinion. So, getting into the steps of just healing. First thing, after something traumatic happens to you, are we going to use an example scenario? I think we are. No, we're not. Something very bad happens to you, and it just it hurts you so bad you think it's the end of the world. And honestly, the first thing you have to do is fully understand what you've experienced, because sometimes we go into shock, and once we go into shock, we kind of just cover up our emotions, suck everything in, just like, okay, I just gotta play it cool, I'm okay, I'm tough, I'm not soft. No, you need to understand what happened to you. You need to analyze every little thing, understand how you felt, because if you don't deal with it right away, it's gonna sneak back up on you, and you're gonna see it in the form of triggers. You're gonna get triggered by little things. Something I see a lot is on social media. I don't know if you know the guy Justin LaBoy, LA boy, Justin LaBoy, whatever. He'll post stuff about, let's say Sagittarius being toxic or something. Everybody will be going off in the comments because they have not healed from that one Sagittarius that hurt them. Or you'll see people talking about cheating, and everybody will be going off in the comments, and it's just like, that's a trigger. Those are triggers. Those are common triggers because a lot of times people don't want to deal with those things, deal with going back to those bad times in their life. And that's one thing you need to do during the healing process. So yeah, you just need to evaluate how you feel during this time too, and understand how you feel. What I like to do is, I like to say, okay, well, this person did this to me. So it made me feel this way, and that makes sense. I would feel some type of way if somebody took my sandwich or something like that. You need to validate your own feelings, because if you don't, no one will. You're going to look for people to validate your feelings, and you're going to find that validation in the wrong ways. You need to validate your own feelings and come to an understanding of why you feel the way you feel. Next step is to accept and forgive. This is, I think it's more accepting. Yeah, they're both about the same thing. So forgiving is commonly misunderstood. People think forgiving means accepting what kind of treatment is given to you and not changing anything after that. But honestly, forgiving is accepting what specifically happened and saying, okay, well, I'm not having that anymore. I know this happened. I know how they act now, so we're going to change our ways. We're going to stay away from them. But yeah, you just need to accept what happened. That's the main thing. You need to, part of that, the way that I've been able to do this is recognizing that people are not perfect and they're error prone. So this is a different process for everyone, but for me, I've used the Bible, I've used faith. In the Bible, it talks a lot about how people are not perfect and how honestly you need to put a lot of your, you need to depend a lot on God for things because He is perfect. So, whether it's related to your religion or not, you need to realize that you on your own cannot forgive. You can't just be like, oh, okay, this happened to me. Okay. You need something else. You need a therapist. You need somebody to talk to just understand what happened to you and accept it. But just realizing that people are not perfect has helped me a lot. They would park right next to me. Okay. Another thing, I think the last step that really helps a lot is recognizing what you learned from the situation. Sorry, I'm reading off my notes. So you have to explicitly say to yourself what you learned from the situation and apply this to your life. That is like a big thing, because sometimes we're just like, okay, I'm going through the steps, but I'm not learning anything, or maybe you're learning things, but you're not recognizing that you are. So you really have to consciously realize, okay, this is what I've learned from this situation. And it also kind of, even though the situation might have been really bad, it kind of just gives it a little bit of purpose, so that it's just not like you got hurt for nothing. You're like, okay, I'm growing from this. And it just helps a lot to learn from it, because then if you learn from it, you most likely won't have to go through it again. Hopefully, if you learn really, really well. If you're like me, I'm stubborn, I have a Taurus moon, I have to go through it a couple times, and my brain will be like, okay, I'm not going to put myself back in this situation. But you have to recognize what you've learned from the situation, and realize what actions, like how your actions are going to change because of that. So you need to apply it to your life, and yeah, like I just said, change your actions, so that you don't end up in that situation again. So some things to note are that you may need to go back and repeat some of these steps, because healing is not linear. You can't just go, just be like, okay, I've accepted it, keep going back. Sometimes, in some cases, you find out new information, and you have to go back to the first step anyway of just realizing what happened. And you're like, wow, and it's kind of hard, Also, with this, healing is not linear, because since you're revisiting a lot of the past hurt that you've dealt with, it's kind of traumatic, honestly. So you might have some days where you're really drained. You might be so drained that it's hard for you to get out of bed. You got 8 hours of sleep, but you still don't want to get up. It's really hard to accept what you've been through, especially if it's really bad. But honestly, it is worth it in the end, I promise. Healing also takes a lot of patience. And it takes a lot of time sometimes, depending on what has happened. Another thing that you should know is that you are not expected to do this alone. You're not. Like I said before, depending on my faith has helped me a lot, but also just relying on maybe a therapist that I can pour my heart out to, that helps a lot too. I would be careful with relying on friends, because in the past, that has not been the best for me, and it's caused codependency, where I'm just like, okay, I just need you right now, I need you to just be here for me, even though they have their own stuff they're going through. So just some tips that these people, why they gotta come by me? Some tips that might help you if you're healing are surrounding yourself with people that give you energy. Like I just said, the healing process is draining. Sometimes you don't want to get up. And if you have to get up and deal with people that are expecting you to deal with their problems too, it can be kind of painful. It can be kind of hard. Another thing is just taking care of yourself. Self-care is number one. You need to prioritize yourself and always find time in every day to do something for yourself. For me, this time is, morning and night. In the morning, I wake up, I pray, I say a certain prayer every day. I read my Bible. These people are killing my vibe. I read my Bible. I have it so that it gives me a specific scripture based on what I'm going through. The forgiveness ones help. Just to go back to what I was saying before about reading the Bible and just how it's been helping me. Even if you're not religious, reading a book about forgiveness will help you, I promise. Especially if it's coming from a great source. Because we don't normally talk about this, so if you can get as much information about it as you can, then it kind of helps. So yeah, anyway, self-care can come in the form of reading about forgiveness and healing. It can also come from how I do it. In the morning, I have to get cute every day. I have to, or else I don't feel like myself and I will actually be sad. Sometimes I'll braid my hair if I feel like I'm just like, oh my gosh, I just feel so horrible. It's kind of hard to be sad when you have fresh braids in your head. But it's not just the physical self-care too. You just need to take care of your mental, surround yourself with people that are healthy for you, eat well, sleep well, but just do things that will help you take care of yourself, and take in new information from really good sources about maybe what you're going through, or get information from people about like basically where you want to be in life, and that helps so much. It kind of helps you get to where you need to go, and it tells you like all the behind the scenes secrets that no one normally talks about of how you get to where you want to be when you're in a low place. You also can get some hobbies. Get some hobbies because you're going to be by yourself a lot, especially when you're healing from other people. And it's not always fun to be by yourself, but you don't want to... It's not always fun to be by yourself, but you don't want to be just like, pouring all your negative emotions onto people all the time if you're going through something and you're just in a negative place. So get some hobbies, because you don't always got to be focused on healing. Yes, you're healing, most of the time, but it's not always like, okay, this is what I have to do all day. I'm going to do my work, this, that, and then I'm going to go readdress previous trauma. Maybe you want to paint a picture. What I did was during quarantine, I got sad, so I got a bunch of plants. I got one plant at first, and now I have like 7. That helps me a lot. Just getting a hobby so that you can have something to do by yourself, especially when you're in those low moods, helps a lot. Lastly, the main tip is to just be more aware of yourself during this time and recognize your behavior. Because since you're going through something traumatic, you may experience a lot more extreme emotions. So it's best to just, realize, okay, that's a trigger right now because I haven't healed from that. So this is making me mad right now, but I'm not going to react majorly and cause some more drama and some more things that I'm going to have to heal from. You're just going to, recognize your triggers, be like, okay, this is bothering me right now. Either try to get out of the situation or realize, okay, this is temporary. That's another thing. Recognize that whatever you're feeling right now is temporary. There are people in this world that love you, and you are loved, and you are worth so much more than however this person made you feel, and you are so much more than however you're trying to make yourself feel if you're talking negatively to yourself after doing something that you can't even forgive yourself from. You deserve forgiveness. People deserve forgiveness. They don't always deserve to come back into your life, but they deserve forgiveness. So before I rant too much, because as you can tell, I feel very passionately about this topic, I just want to thank you guys for watching this video. This is just something that has helped me a lot, and it's actually made every situation that I go through, whether it, no matter how drastic it is, it makes it better because I know that I have kind of a set way that I go through healing since I've been through kind of a decent amount of stuff. So I know that I can go back to these things and they will always help me get to where I want to be. So anyway, I'm burning up in this car, as you can tell. I'm a little sweaty, but thank you again for watching, and I hope you all heal, and I hope you all have a great rest of your summer. Bye.